Welcome to Marketing from X to Z.
The podcast specifically created for small business owners who want practical marketing advice without the hype.
We're your hosts. This is Mike Albuquerque representing Gen X.
And this is Liz Bachman, our resident Gen Zer.
We're here to share honest insights, real-world experiences,
and tangible strategies to help your small business thrive.
Hey, Mike, do you want to start a podcast?
Let's do it.
Okay, welcome back for another episode. We are really doing this thing. We are starting episode 5.
Listen, here's a fun fact. Did you know that most podcasts out there stop at episode 3?
Look at us.
We've made it. We've made it past the 50%.
That's another episode to talk about that. But okay, so today we want to talk about AI.
We're going to do it, huh?
We are going to do it. I know that you have a lot of thoughts on that, and I have a lot of thoughts on that. We're both going to sit on a panel talking about that in a couple weeks after this airs, actually. So that's kind of exciting. But I want to talk about how small businesses can use AI without becoming AI.
Yeah, right. Oh my goodness. Can I dive in first?
Yeah, please go for it.
Because I'm going to talk about what I think is one of the biggest issues that people think with AI, right? Because we look at AI and the way that we hear about AI, it's the same way that we hear people talk about a lot of other things. Like it's this magic bullet. It's this, perfect solution for everything. And I can just AI it and it is done. That's not how that works exactly.
No.
Right? I think AI works best when it's used as a tool. And when you use it almost like a partner where you're throwing ideas back at it. But you still need to be the adult in the room.
Yeah.
You need to be the one who makes the decisions. You need to be the one who checks things to make sure they're factually correct, who make sure that things are said in your brand voice.
It's like an intern.
Pretty much. Right? That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, it's like an intern.
My new intern, ChatGPT. I'll put a photo on the website.
Exactly.
but that's not the way that AI is talked about. And I think a lot of it is these companies out there. I mean, OpenAI loses money every time you type something on ChatGPT.
I did not know that.
They lose money on every search you perform because they're a tech company. They're trying to get that big following and get the case study and build out the technology and then be able to grow from there.
Okay.
Right? And so we hear AI talked a lot about this simple and easy solution that's going to completely change our mind and revolutionize productivity and the way jobs are done and tasks are performed and all that. And I think it's a little bit hype. There, it's got its point. We both use AI.
Oh yeah.
Right. I mean, it's got some great uses and it does have some very solid productivity gains, but it doesn't eliminate a lot of things that you still need to do.
Yeah, no, I hear all the time aren't you afraid you're going to lose your job to AI? No. No, I'm not. Thank you for asking. Yeah. I appreciate your concern. I am not worried about that right now.
Yeah. I mean, people talk about AI in terms of automation. And as we say this, ChatGPT just did launch an automation part of it. I
did. I saw that. I've been playing with it and I think that's super cool.
Yeah. But, people were talking about AI as if it could already do that. And it's literally just yesterday that launched, right? It's like AI is not Zapier, ChatGPT is not Zapier.
Yeah.
But we are starting to see some of those tools now. But sometimes people's use cases for it, if they don't understand and they haven't used it before, just aren't realistic.
Yeah, no, it's definitely there are the AI agent thing. I think that's super interesting. The research stuff is super interesting. The writings, it's a really good way to facilitate yourself being more effective. But I mean, my favorite, and I'm sure we'll talk about this later, is the fact that I have an AI that plans all of my tasks and tells me when to do things so that I don't have to think about what I have to do next sometimes, which makes me sound like my brain is the robot. But there's it's really good for efficiencies, but it's not going to come up with those tasks for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think specifically when you're talking about marketing and a lot of what we talk about here is the strategy first component of it.
Yeah.
And you can, and I will go even further and say that you should use AI to help develop those strategies, because it can perform a lot of research in a short amount of time. It's not immediate, right? I mean, if you're using ChatGPT for it, as of now, we are in, don't want to say the date, July 18th. I just did. As of now, 4.5 is the model that is best for that. And it can perform these deep researches and,
Really, I like O3 Pro.
O3 does okay. O3 is good. It's a good substitute for it. 4.5 is very advanced for research.
Okay, cool.
And for anything writing.
I use 4.5 for writing all the time. Yeah, no, 4.5 for writing, absolutely.
Yeah, when you run out of credits for 4.5 and you have to, and you're trying to use it for a writing task, it's a sad day.
Oh, I don't run out of credits. I pay for the whole thing. Seriously, I do. Because I kept running out of credits, and I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
No. So yeah.
But it's like, so it has these models that are great for you to use to perform this research and all that. But you still need to understand it enough to be able to look at that and see if it is relevant or not. And is it organized in the right way? Is it saying things that are truth, or is it hallucinating?
It does that less than it used to, but
less than it used to. People tend to have like the right amount of digits, and letters are spelled now, and the images, there's less hallucination. But AI models also have this tendency of being like a golden retriever. They just want to please you.
Yeah.
And so you need to prompt it to be critical.
Yeah.
As well. And that's one of the, be the devil's advocate, or tell me, what are the flaws in this? Where is there an issue here that I can be cognizant of, and, rewrite things based on that. Right. So it's a tool that's going to help you perform some of those tasks that you're doing operationally or marketing wise better. But it's not like immediate.
No.
There's efficiencies there. Yes, there's productivity, but it's not a solution where you just send AI to do the thing and you come back.
Yeah, no, that's not where we are with this right now at all. Like eventually, maybe, but that's a long ways off. So, why do you think that AI has become such a hot topic for business owners?
I think it's become a hot topic everywhere too, and so that's larger part of society as well, that we're all kind of scared of it and intrigued by it. For business owners, I mean, as small business owners, we're all very busy, overwhelmed. We have a lot of hats we wear.
For those of you who are listening to this instead of watching, Mike did indeed just touch his hat.
Yes, thank you. That's important.
It's important context.
Yeah. I wish I brought a different hat to switch it over. Right, that would be.
Okay, so when business owners, when you just said fear, what do you think they're talking about? What do you think the fear is?
I think there's fear that it's going to be able to perform some of the tasks and that certain people do and some of the businesses offer. Right. I mean, there's, for accountants, attorneys, I mean, marketing as well. There's a lot of tasks that people have this fear that, well, now you can just go in and type in a quick prompt and it'll perform that task for me. It'll write a contract for me. It will.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
No, bad. That was not a recommendation.
Yeah. But that's the idea that's put out there, right? It's like, oh my goodness, 90% of the jobs are going to be eliminated by AI, and it's not exactly the case. I mean, we live in a society where people struggle to turn the camera on Zoom.
Well, it's also not just that. I mean, even if everybody were to be able to adopt it, every single time we get new technology introduced, we experience some form of industrial revolution. That doesn't mean that we suddenly all don't have jobs. Yeah. It just means that things change. And that's okay too.
Yeah.
I think that's part of what makes life interesting. It's part of what makes owning a business interesting is things change. And I think that was my initial response to AI was we're like, well, aren't you afraid that you're going to you're going to lose this and you're going to lose that? And I'm like, guys, everything changes. That's okay. Just because we have, certain forms of automation, or just because we have AI, or just because we have, Agriculture.
Okay. Now you're going way back.
Yeah, but seriously though, if you think about each
Yeah.
time that we've had new technology introduced, it did not mean that nobody had a job. It just meant that people's jobs changed, and often those jobs changed for jobs that were better than the ones that they had before.
Yeah.
So I mean, not that I'm not like blindly optimistic when it comes to AI. There are definitely things that are not great. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about this, but the environmental impact.
Yeah.
And so like there's negative stuff that's there for sure, but this fear about like being replaced, I don't get that, I guess.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna see like I would think that we're gonna see some at some point these companies are gonna have to make money.
Yeah.
Right, they're gonna have to stop like spending and using their infinite venture capital money and actually make some money. There might be some adjustments there, which price some people out from certain models or certain use cases.
Yeah.
And we'll see things adjust. And one of the interesting studies, and I heard this, it was a little over a year ago. I imagine it's still truth because it was a future projection, but that AI would eliminate a certain number of jobs, a certain percentage, but that it was actually going to create a higher percentage of jobs. Because now, to your point, right, you have different jobs that are being created, different tasks that you need to perform. Okay, so let me ask you a question. When it comes to the marketing side of it, is there anything with the use of AI that excites you?
Excites me. I mean, I think that it's a great way to deal with blank page syndrome. I think AI is really great for that. I spend a lot of time talking through ideas with AI, which I think is really helpful, and that makes me excited. I upload notes from like my meetings and my discovery calls and stuff like that, and then I have it consolidate things for me and tell me like through lines of requests and like the way that people asked about things so that I can incorporate it into my marketing. So, I mean, I can do that manually, and I've been doing it manually, but boy, is it nice to just like feed that information in and be able to use that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, there's the efficiency part I think is really interesting. And I look at it, to your earlier point about things changing. If I were to, like, I was designing websites in high school, right, for fun. Just don't ask me what they were. I will not tell. But they were just, it was just me getting in there and using like Notepad and copying like code from sites and learning about tables and rows and columns.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's super popular in high school.
I'm sure.
But it was like a fun kind of geeky exercise process. It was, it took forever to get things down and to do something that was worth anything, especially if you wanted to go outside of the norm. And I had, I had like friends of either my sister who was a little older than I am, or other folks I knew who were already in the professional world and who were developing websites. And at that point, the level of effort that it took to develop a site was really high because there's a lot of hand coding. You're really limited in what you can do, and things just take a while. Computers are slower and all that.
Yeah.
Fast forward a few years, you start getting platforms like WordPress coming around and giving people now kind of like a starting point for things. And then those platforms evolve, and you start getting things like your visual builders now, where you see that a lot with, WordPress has them, a lot of them, Wix, don't hate us, Wix, Squarespace, right? Anywhere that you go to build a site now, you see it in the ads, the pop up here, oh, it's a row, it's a section. Inside the section, there's a row. Inside the row, there's a module, text, it's image and whatnot. And it's a lot more of a visual process than it was before.
Right.
And that means that a website can now be built in a lot more efficient manner than it could back then.
Okay.
And I think AI is going to help with that a little bit more because you're seeing it incorporated in some different tools.
Yeah.
And so that's going to mean efficiencies as far as the bringing that vision to life. And I think that allows then, as marketers, the opportunity for us to focus on what matters more, which is what is the strategy behind it?
Yeah.
If everything is AI, if everyone's using AI, then how do you stand out from everyone else? It's either got to be in your use of an AI and how you bring that technology to assist you with it, or it's got to be by, going against the grain, going a different direction, expanding your mindset. But I think I'm excited for the productivity in improvements, and then also just for the chance of bringing that vision to life faster. Design something and then like, boom, go create this, right? As opposed to having to painstakingly build it.
That makes sense. I think that's because focusing and having to spend less of your bandwidth on tactical execution and more of it on strategic work, which is where the differentiators come from.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I think that'll be the fun part. We'll see if it comes to life. I mean, I've seen some AI assisted websites. Okay. And I've seen a lot of them created. GoDaddy, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was about to say.
Oof, boy. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. There's issues, right? I mean, there's some, just because you can build a website doesn't mean you know how to, or what should be included in it. And I think that is where you come to like AI as a tool that democratizes things. I don't know if that's right lingo or not.
I see that.
Versus something that will do it for you.
Well, and I think also like I heard this recently at a networking event, the idea that AI has a lot of knowledge, but it has no wisdom.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's going to be an interesting thing. I'm excited about that a little bit because your wisdom and your application is how you stand out using AI in my thought. Like those specific, because you can get, and this kind of goes back to our conversation about branding a couple episodes back, but you can get a website from a dime a dozen people just like within like 5 miles of where we are currently seated.
Yeah.
Right? There are 2 website builders in this building. I know for a fact that have offices.
Yes. We walk past them.
Yeah, exactly. So like, but what makes you different is not something AI is going to be able to give you. It's something you have to give AI.
Yeah.
And so that is going to be really, really, the companies that actually bother to stand for something and to be something are going to be the ones that actually excel once all of this hype and like the boom is done. The ones who are actually invested in their branding, their strategy.
Okay.
Their branding and their strategy.
It's always a camera that does something.
Are going to be the ones that actually succeed. And that makes, honestly, your work more valuable. So I don't know. I think when we're tying AI into small business owners, I think that's a piece that you cannot miss. It is not a substitute for thought. I think that sometimes people may try to use it as a substitute for thought. It is not a substitute for thought. Yeah.
I think that we talk about how we both start with the strategy piece when we're working with business owners on projects, right, with marketing. And one of the things that I like doing during discovery call is kind of like a download, right? Hey, you're the business owner. You have all the knowledge and experience about your business. You have different knowledge and experience than I do about your industry and all that. And I perform like a download of that, right? And then I combine that with market research. I combine that with my experience and my approach and all that. And I think there's a role for AI to come in and bridge in some of the gaps in there and help create, I think, we talked about agents and whatnot, help create agents that maybe can help us understand how customers would react to certain messaging or certain visuals and whatnot. I think that's a great tool. If you can start getting a glimpse of some of that customer reaction based on, the database that AI has access to versus having to create a focus group, and sit people down and figure out the room where you're going to do that and have someone to run it properly in an unbiased way and all that.
Yeah, that's challenging.
I think that's one of the things that is going to become a lot more common.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I think that's good.
Ooh, do you want to dive into tools?
Sure.
Let's go into tools. What are some of your favorites?
Okay. So obviously I use ChatGPT and I use the I use the big boy pants one.
Okay.
So I use their $200 a month plan.
That's why you don't run out of credits.
That is exactly why I don't run out of credits. But honestly, worth every penny.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that. I use Gemini as well.
Mm-hmm.
I've played with Copilot. I do like Gemini better. I've played with Perplexity.
Okay.
I think that that's fun.
Uh-huh.
I use Motion, which is the AI scheduler friend that I have.
Uh-huh.
That I am obsessed with. It is my buddy. Let's see. I think those are my big guys right now. I don't like image generation with AI unless it's like deliberately cartoon and stuff like that. Like if I have like a painting company and it's Halloween, I'll like create like a fun little like whimsical. But I'm not a huge fan of that.
Okay.
Personally, it's not that I think. Yeah, I don't. That's not that, and like AI generated video again, because I think that the purpose of video, especially in my context as a social media person, is to create relatability and authenticity and something like that. And I just don't think we're there yet with some of those tools, at least not the ones I've played with.
Yeah.
But that's kind of my stack.
Fair enough.
Yeah. What about you?
Okay, so ChatGPT, but I'm not paying $200 a month. I'm paying 20. Therefore, I run out of credits. But I do. I like it a lot in terms of like kind of texting things or writing things back and forth and spitballing ideas, creating some custom GPTs.
Oh, I like the custom GPTs.
Diving into that a little bit more, and I just took finished a course on AI and AI used for productivities, where we went into things like Notebook LM. Which is that's a Google one where you put in a bunch of stuff and it creates a podcast to not a podcast. You can't choose the voices. You can't do a lot of stuff. It's just for people who want to learn in that way.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which is an interesting concept, but it's not something that you can use for marketing, for instance. Because when I heard, you can create a podcast, the immediate idea is, could a business go in, feed it a bunch of stuff and say, create a podcast about, AI. Right, and get something that you can publish in, and you can't. Not with that tool. There's other tools out there.
We are not AI. We're actually here.
We're real. Let's go figure out where newspapers are sold and hold it with today's date. I don't know where we could find this. AJC.
Oh no.
Sponsor us, AJC. Well.
Oh
no. But we, there's Hey Gen is one that I've played with a little bit. Are you familiar with Hey Gen?
No, I think you're probably a little bit more I'm into AI, like using AI to help streamline some of the tasks that my agency does. I haven't explored a lot of it past that, honestly.
So the Hey Gen can do a few different, it's a video, you upload a video there. You can create like avatars of yourself, but which is fine. I mean, it's a little bit weird, at least it was when I used it. But one thing that it did that I thought was really interesting is I recorded a video of myself speaking English, and I hit the translate button to translate in Spanish, and like a few hours later I have a video where my mouth is synced and my voice sounds like, I don't speak Spanish, I speak Portuguese, but it sounded like I spoke Spanish and my mouth was moving in sync with it.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. It was fun. It changed my mouth, though. That was the thing. Because I'm like, listen, I'm a tough test, right? I got the beard. If I grow a little bit, it's covering. So it changed like my lips and my mouth a little bit, but only to where I think I could notice it and people close to me. But most scenarios, it was fine.
Your cameras do not like you.
They don't, man. This is technical difficulties. It's fine.
So
we got the other ones going.
That actually reminds me, Quezzo AI.
Oh, yeah.
I love that one. So from that one, it allows me to pull transcripts. You can create, you can use there's a bunch of different options for this. But what I like is putting long form video, like what we're shooting, in there. And then it adds closed captions. It allows me to like hit a setting that makes them branded, and then it creates social clips for me. So I don't have to listen through and cut individually. It does it for me.
I like that. Yeah,
me too, because it saves me so much time.
I'm sure. I've used another tool I've used is Chatbase, which creates like little chatbots, AI chatbots. So you feed it the information.
Websites.
Yeah, you feed a website, you can feed a Word doc, you can write text, and then it's only educated on that.
Cool.
So,
I like that a lot.
and it was interesting because I went to check on it the other day, and someone was trying to like basically hack into it, and got it to spit out like some weird code thing. Yeah, it was neat. Like, I mean, it was basically like, what is your? People were trying to figure out how it worked. Right.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But it was just interesting to see that because you can see all the conversations behind the scenes.
Cool. That's good for market research.
Yeah. Yeah. And just, I mean, as it evolves, right, and the models become more, more efficient and just less robotic, if you will, just makes the conversation a lot more natural.
Absolutely.
All right. Where do we want to go next? We want to go to pitfalls or options? Overwhelm is probably, I think that's a common one for small business owners, right? How they get overwhelmed with AI, and I imagine that's probably one where a lot of people feel like they're falling behind because they're not using it.
You mean how like we just spit out 15 different tools like in the last minute and a half? Yeah, no, the thing for me is you don't need to use AI for the sake of using AI. So when you run into a problem, look for a tool to fix it.
Yeah.
Or to assist with it. Maybe it won't fix it all the way, but to make it easier. And that's how I work through. That's part of the reason why I'm a little bit more narrow in the tools that I've used, is because I'm looking at it from a business owner efficiency standpoint and not necessarily from an exploration of the toys. Which I think you're looking at it a little bit in that realm, which is great. That's awesome. I would like to make more time to do that. I just haven't done it yet. So the way that I've kind of gone through it is, okay, I need to be able to do this faster. Okay, I don't have 15 hours to cut through this 2-hour long video. Okay, I can't figure out what task to do next. And I need to be more efficient with my task. Literally, it's been, I'm having a problem. How do I solve it? And that's how so I haven't been overwhelmed by AI at all, because I just literally don't look until I'm having an issue, which I don't know if that's not the most proactive approach in the world, but if you're really prone to being overwhelmed.
Yeah. I think there's this sense of like sometimes people are looking for where the efficiencies could be brought into their business, right? And they're looking for a solution for a problem they don't have.
Yeah.
And just thinking that maybe AI will bring a better way to do this, right? Yeah. And AI it can help in a lot of things. It can also make some tasks just take longer because I have some friends who work in tech very deep into it and like research and development for some large companies. And this was last year, we were renting a cabin out, and I was sharing how I was trying to use AI to help with like brand strategy and dive into it. And, my friend who's like had been the biggest advocate for AI until, ChatGPT came out because he was using all the private models. But he's like, it's taking more effort to put that all in there than it would for you to write this out.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, so that's a very valid point. I mean, which means I'm not using the tool right, or it's not the right tool.
Yeah. Don't try to pit a square peg, circle hole. Like, don't.
Yes, I get what you're saying.
That didn't come out right at all, but it's fine. Everything's fine. Can you tell we've been recording for a little bit now? I think that, and I totally get that. For me, it is, if you are experiencing overwhelm, you should not look for more things to feel overwhelmed about, though.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where that that dovetails for me, is like, if you have the space to learn and improve and grow something and increase efficiencies, then oh my gosh, yes, that is a excellent thing to do. But if you don't do it just for the sake of doing it, because everything else is going to get harder.
Yeah.
I don't know. Balance.
Yeah. And there's also, I think there's a little bit of people out there, or I say people, companies out there that now just throw AI in the name of something that is not AI. It's an algorithm. I mean, it's not generative AI.
Yeah.
It's just they have like an algorithm, or they have, kind of a process flow, and but they throw AI because it's a buzz term, and It's not really going to change anything or work different than a different tool. So just be mindful of that too.
Yeah. And I do want us to, because we will go all over the place with this episode because we have lots of thoughts on it.
We'll need to come revisit it sometime.
Oh yeah, no, we'll do multiple on this, for sure. But what about if you had one tool you would have somebody start with, like one tool and one tactic. Don't just be like ChatGPT. Because there's too many things you could do with that. So one tool, one tactic, small business owners and marketing.
All right. So ChatGPT, that is where I would start. Sorry. Or I'll say this. If you want to explore different models, there's a tool called Magi, which is MAGAI.co. They're not sponsoring us, although they should. But that is a tool where you pay $20 a month and you have access to all the models of ChatGPT, Claude, like a lot of those different models, like even some image generation ones.
Okay.
Within one tool, it's one subscription. It's just like you're limited by how many credits you get to use.
Yeah.
But it's a great tool if you want to explore some of the different models. I think right now ChatGPT is just the best if you're, doing research or if you're using it to help with be like your buddy in the room that you spitball back and forth with. What I would say is try not to get everything in one prompt, right? Don't write a paragraph saying what you want, hit enter and go get some coffee. You need to create like a chain of prompts. You can ask it to start by performing research on your company, on your competitor. You can then ask it to clarify some items or break it down in certain ways. So use chain prompting where you're creating it through multiple steps. Learn a little bit about markup. So use, one hashtag to be H1, two hashtags to be H2. That's a visual way that you basically make a headline bigger and smaller versus just paragraph in ChatGPT. But it obviously takes the things that are bigger as an H1 is more important. Learn to use 3 dashes to separate thoughts if you have a longer prompt, because it recognizes that as a stop in thought. Learn about uploading documents, but understand that even though ChatGPT can read all the documents, it doesn't give it the same importance as things that are written in text. I went too long. But
that was so much. I am officially starting to feel some of that overwhelm that we referenced previously. Maybe you need to make like a little guide that we can link to the bottom of this because you just did that. So
I can do that. That's simple.
There's the consequences of your actions. But yeah, I think we need one of those for this because I just like my head. But no, I think that's good. I think that's really good. If oh goodness. If we could only do one thing, like one principle to make it authentic, so they're not just AI, like they're not becoming the robot.
Yeah.
What would that be? Especially when you're talking about marketing and content creation and that sort of thing.
So there are some steps that you can use to create a context prompt, which is a prompt that essentially becomes all about either yourself or your company. That will help ChatGPT. Every time you start a conversation, you put that in there and saying, this is my context prompt, and it'll have details of who you are, what your tone of voice is, what are you trying to accomplish. And I think developing a context prompt is so important because a lot of what ChatGPT is not looking at all the chats and retaining that in its knowledge. No. Right. It's not truly a fresh start every time that you start a new chat window. It knows some stuff about you, but it's ignoring a lot of the stuff.
Especially if you use projects and project files and stuff like that.
So create a context prompt that gives you that baseline, right? And use that language. Tell them that you're trying to create a context prompt, answer the questions it's going to ask you to build out that profile, and then use that as a start of your either project or individual chat. And you can create multiple, right? Because you can create a prompt that is all about, I'm trying to help with my productivity as far as my marketing tasks. And then, you answer what it needs to know, right? Asking it to ask you questions can help you build prompts that are a lot better for it and just more efficient.
You can also tell it to ask you one question at a time because it will dump like 30 questions at you. And that is incredibly overwhelming for me, at least. So I have it give me one question at a time and I give it answers back because Yeah.
That's a chain prompting, one thing at a time.
Yeah,
That's
because
the best way to go.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Oh. Say.
What questions should small business owners regularly ask themselves to ensure AI enhances rather than detracts from their brand?
Does it sound like you?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, that's really the thing. Like, I cannot iterate enough, especially because like I use it to assist with social media, right? And honestly, you should.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not training it on the voice of your company, then you are not going to sound like you. So, and I mean literally going as far as like uploading transcripts of videos that you shot, talking directly to it so that it catches the way that you speak and those inflections and those phrases. And that approach is going to be really, really, really important. So that would be what I'm checking in with. Please do not just, I need a social media caption for blank. Like that's not helpful. Instead, providing, you mentioned context prompts, and I think that that's great. But even adding more substantial examples to those context prompts is like what I really like is I upload transcripts of videos I shot that I'm gonna share on social, and uploading those transcripts into my project files as like examples of voice and information and like things that we believe and ways that we talk and that sort of stuff.
Are we a long ways away from seeing digital avatar, Liz?
Yeah. No, I like being on camera too much for that, unfortunately.
Good. Yeah. We don't want to see you up there with like 7 fingers in one hand.
No. That's not going to be me for a while. It's not that you can't do it, and I've seen people do it. It's just...
It's the arm motions. It's so weird. Like if you pay attention to the arms, it's so weird what they...
Yeah, no, I genuinely think that video is a way that you develop trust and credibility with your audience.
Absolutely.
And so if we start making ourselves into AI on those videos, I wonder how it undercuts that and the impact that could have on a brand. And I'm not trying to like fear monger or like, that sort of, but like to me, that does not feel trustworthy at this point. I don't know, maybe that'll change over time, but like right now that does not feel trustworthy to me, so it's not something I would choose to do.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a wrap then, huh?
And just the episode about AI, we leave on a negative note. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so we're definitely going to do more episodes talking about AI, and I think maybe getting a little bit more specific into some of the things that you mentioned in a more approachable way, I think is going to be like maybe even mini episodes. That could be fun.
Get into the weeds with it.
Yeah, hear.
Let me ask this. What are some of the questions that you have about AI? What are some of the things that you like to discuss in the context of small business and of marketing? Because we'd love to hear back, and maybe we can put some things together.
Yeah, I would love that too. That would be great. All right. So with that, that's a wrap.
All right. Till next time, everyone.